And now, Raj, I would love to hear from you. What's your expectation for today's call?
Really, today, I want everybody to treat today as your masterpiece. When I was just doing a call for one of my clients' groups, and I told them, like, when I'm working with our elite clients, the reason they continue working because we get them results if they do the work. But what I want to do is master stack this idea and stop working from your past and stop being separate from your future, but make every day your magnificent masterpiece. Because this is the day we focus on. And that's what I want everybody to do. And then take the ideas that we're discussing today and implement them right away. That's how you're going to make it part of your identity.
I love it. All right, that's a perfect way to kick us off. Kate, I see your hand up first. I'm going to go ahead and bring you on with Araj.
Hello, Mikey. Nice to see you. Arash, nice to see you again as well. I was on the call just a couple days ago. So my question today, I have lots of questions, but my question today is, how do I overcome the thought that a goal is too big? You've said work from your goal and step into that. What is the best process to really get out of my current comfort zone and step into that bigger picture that I'm looking to achieve?
Well, what I tell you, you're in your head right now. Okay. So what you're telling me is what you've accepted from the past as part of what is big or small. What I want you to think about is neither big or small, just this is done. So you have to accept it right away. And then we have to start installing the right processes for you. Okay, so what I want you to do is, what it's telling us is I don't believe it yet. That's what it's telling us, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's create the belief installation process for you. So what I would like you to do is I would like you to visualize that goal already experienced. I want you to discipline your five senses. When you get in a relaxed state, and I want you to see what you would see already. See me congratulating you. When you visualize, you never want to do a sequence of events, okay? You never want to do the sequence. You go from the end. So think of somebody close to you congratulating you for achieving it. We come from the end. Now, what's going to happen is the repetition of doing this, 20 minutes, compounded over 90 days, every day, the image is going to be more clear. And what you're doing, the consistency signals to the subconscious mind that this is non-negotiable for Kate. And they're going to go out and get it. But I don't want you to accept that idea that it's too big. And then what's going to happen is you're going to start getting inspired action. You're going to start getting inspired action of what to do. So you're never pushing towards it. And so once we create, you'll know you believe it, where now you're not letting your five senses be in control. You have to deny your five senses. All your five senses right now that told me it was too big, okay, is what the ideas you've accepted over the past 12 to 24 months about yourself. That's all they're telling you. So we have to get really good at stop thinking our five senses define reality. So we have to constantly grow our consciousness and elevate our consciousness. That's what I want you to do.
Great. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Thank you, Kate. Bill, you're up next.
Hey, Arash.
Hey, Bill. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. I spoke to you right before I came out to Transform, and I signed up for Quantum Leap, world-class coaching. Said I was going to retire in January of 2026.
Okay.
Well, I decided this morning that I'm retiring next month.
Oh, great. Great.
So
how do you feel?
I feel my heart's pounding, man. It's like, I know I've got to do this. It's like, I'm so sick and tired of not having enough time to implement all the things that I'm disciplined to do. And I just could use a little bit of encouragement this morning to move forward.
First of all, I want to congratulate you for trusting yourself.
Thank you.
And I want to congratulate you for going to Transform Live. I've had so many clients who were at that event and who came back and they called me 2 weeks later of what their results happened from that event.
Mm.
And I want to congratulate you because a lot of people didn't come. They lied to themselves. They gave themselves excuses, you know? So more than anything, what it tells me is you shifted frequencies.
Mm.
You know, that's what I tell you. I want you to trust yourself, but I want you to get so good at coming from the state of what you want. You have to live at that state. Now, right now, you probably have this other voice of doubt, okay? Right? So I don't want you to fight the doubt because when we fight it, we give it more power. I want you to cancel it out and reaffirm the opposite just naturally. Don't fight it, or else it's going to create more. You're giving the doubt more power, and it's like a double binding message, you know?
Yeah.
But what I see is you had the courage to bet on yourself. Just in the short time that I got to know you, you've had a massive quantum leap. So think about that. I didn't tell you to quit your job. You know, you trusted yourself. Now, I've told people to quit their jobs. You know, I told a woman at my Toronto event to quit her job, and she doubled her income 3 months later. You know, so I will tell you, if you stick to the processes and you stop wavering, most people are stuck because they get trapped in the circumstance. You know, and they're unable to achieve their dreams because of misunderstanding on one fundamental truth that the world you experience right now is nothing more than the ideas you've accepted, you know? So look at this new idea you've accepted, and I want you to just take what you want in the future and live it like it's here today. That's what I want you to do and own it. Like I want you to, don't do it intellectually. This isn't an intellectual exercise. Like I was just talking to Kate about visualizing. There's no power in visualizing if it's intellectual. We got to get into the emotional feeling of it. Feeling is the magic elixir that takes us from where we are to where we want to go. So I will tell you, you are going in the right direction. Now let's upgrade your standard. Let's own it and let's really go deep into it. Okay?
You got it. I'm so excited. Thanks so much, man. Appreciate
Sure.
it.
My pleasure. Anytime.
Thanks, Bill, and congratulations. Miriam, you're up next.
Hi, Raj. Thank you,
Miriam.
I appreciate it. First, I want to thank you for all that you've helped me through. I really appreciate it. Now, I have a question. I noticed that I just get in my own way by looking at the outside results and circumstances. And then I start thinking about actions to take. It's like I find myself being so compulsive, taking action, but still not seeing the results and getting frustrated. But then I go back to your videos again, your book, and the program I've taken. And it's just, I don't know what to do, but I keep going back.
I'll tell you exactly what to do. You're creating right now from a state of lack.
Oh, wow.
So, and it's very common. Most people have a want. You have a want, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But you haven't installed that knowingness, so you're coming from a state of lack. We can't come from a state of lack. You know, if you notice anybody who's forcing, okay?
Yeah.
You know, they're grinding away. They're coming from a state of lack. We have to understand your desire is already here, and it wants you just as much as you want it.
Wow.
You are writing your destiny, but you're misunderstanding the creation process. You're just misunderstanding it. You're going to it because you're attached to it. I want you to come from the assumption it is impossible for it not to happen.
Okay.
Okay, you've got to accept this fact. You're letting your senses tell you no. So you could do your morning routine, and then right away, as soon as it's done, you go to circumstances. Every time you go to circumstances, you're creating from lack.
Wow.
Now, I want you to speak. What is your goal?
Well, my goal, I had this big goal to earn 200,000 every month because of the business that I'm in. Because my business is, people are making 5 million a month and are really killing it. And I even know some people who don't live too far from me who do it. So I just feel, I don't know if I feel like the goal is too big for me. So it's actually sabotaging the current result. I had some good results, but I never really got up to that level. So right now I want to kind of change my annual income into my monthly income, and the most I ever made annually was like 50,000. So I want to turn that into my monthly income and just go from maybe a smaller place to go, until I can grow to that level that I see the people around me making.
Well, I don't look at it like I was telling somebody earlier. I don't look at it big or small. I
Okay.
look at it like I'm listening to your language and I don't love it, because your language is separate from everything you're telling me. Okay.
Okay.
So what I want your language to be, you don't need to tell me what other people are doing. Your want is your want. I want you to own it. So
Okay.
this goal is always the goal that I'm most committed to.
Okay.
So if it's turning your annual income into your monthly income, that is a great goal for you.
Okay.
I don't look at goals by numbers. I look at it by your emotional state of what you're most connected to.
Okay.
So if you're connected to that, now we got to bulletproof your mindset. Your mindset is too wobbly. Okay. You have to make part of your standard. I never think in lack and limitation.
Okay.
So you're going to have to install your belief. But here's what we have to do. We have to activate faith in your life. Okay. You're probably not going to like this. Okay. But I'm
a woman of faith, but if you see it, I'll go with it.
well, just if I looked at your language, I'd say your faith is weak. Okay. I actually think you have a lot of faith in yourself. You come off very strong. Mm-hmm. But faith in your goal is just as important. Faith is not believing something will happen in the future. It's already here right now.
Okay.
And faith is accepting what your senses are denying. That's what faith is. But the results will only persist if you hold that state long enough. Like, do you know, every time you say, I'm so happy and grateful now that I've turned my annual income into my monthly income and it feels amazing, your senses will deny it, but you just brush it off. But what you're doing is you're going into that state, and the repetition of persisting and going into that state is what you're eventually going to be your home. And then once it's your home, all the circumstances, conditions, all your sales are going to go up. You're going to start seeing it. But you're going like this. You're vacillating through states all the time, and it's always going to come back to your baseline. Yeah. So we want to put a lot of attention these next 2 weeks on your auto-suggestion, on your mental rehearsal, and on accepting and rejecting from your goal. That's what I want you to do.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Sure. Anytime.
Thank you, Miriam. Okay, there's been so many people join since I went over how to ask a question. There's 2 ways. One, you click on the react button with the little heart at the bottom of your Zoom screen and then click raise hand. The other is you can click on Q&A and type in your question and I will ask it for you. David, you're up next.
Yes, hi, Raj. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I was on the previous call with your client earlier.
Oh, sure.
Couple things you had mentioned resonated with me, and as far as that goal, you hear about goals and you have goal for every area of your life. For family, spiritual, so forth and so on. But you said just one goal.
Yeah.
So if you can clarify what that one goal is for what I want. Because I'm almost afraid to write that down because of the playing it safe or being liked by others around me when I write that goal down. Could you help me with that, sir?
Yeah. So what do you want? Tell me what you want.
I want to be able to, and again, it's hard because I want to be able to affect more lives than what I'm currently affecting now. Not just in the financial, but also in the spiritual space as well. So, and it's something that I'm comfortable in doing on small scale, but as far as big scale, is a little concerning because of, the people that are around me, most family who, feel as if, even though they want it for me, but it feels like a contradiction in where I am. And again, I guess it goes back to I mentioned as far as being liked and being, accepted within that space.
I think the first opportunity you have is different than what you think.
Okay.
I think you are not being authentic with yourself. And it's time to get real with yourself. Your want is your want. Your want comes from the spiritual essence of who you are. They don't come from your family's spiritual essence.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever somebody tells me about money, I want to do impact, the money, I call BS on that.
Right.
And I will call BS on you for that, because you're programming yourself right now to have a bad attitude towards money. Money is an effect. The more people you impact, the greater the amount of money you'll earn. But your money is a report card to how you're impacting people. So I think it's a great opportunity for you today, David, to own what you really want, write it out clearly, exactly how you want to live. Don't share it with anybody.
Okay.
Okay, because you know you're too sensitive right now to their opinions. So it will impact you. I don't want you to share it with anybody. You can share it with me, but nobody else. Okay? You never share your goals with people who are dream stealers or people who are thinking small. That's a mistake people make. And like I'm a little different with this. I love everybody knowing my goals because I think the whole world could be my accountability partner. Like for me, that works. Doesn't work for everybody. So I'm not telling you to adopt that. For me, that's what works. You got to find out what works for you. But every time you need to be liked, you're never going to be able to impact people. You cannot impact people needing to be liked. Do you know why? You're never going to be able to tell them the truth. So every time we're needing to be liked, we become prisoners to the other person. You know, and like for me, I coach people at a very high level. Like I'm always honest with them because I feel like I'm taking if I'm not honest. And I can't worry whether you like what I'm telling you or not. I'm telling you exactly what I feel from my 20 years of doing this on a daily basis and from just reading you. I read people for a living. I will tell you, we've got to reshape. If I told you the best thing we could focus on for you
Right.
is reshaping your identity, getting more comfortable with yourself. There's nothing that you don't have that you're missing. It's just owning it. You're not owning it for yourself. And that's what I want you to do, because that's how you're going to impact people at a much higher level. People always remember how you make them feel. Maya Angelou said that. They will always remember how you make them feel more than anything. And nobody gets mad when somebody's authentic. And if they got mad, let's say you got mad at me. You know what I would think? That's his problem. You know, because he took it personal. It's just feedback, and then we've got to be detached from it if we want to grow. The people who take feedback and take it personally, they're driven by their ego. Now I don't know you, but I like you because I like your energy, and energy never lies. But I will tell you, I think today would be a great day to write a kick-ass vision of yourself, of what you really want, and stop holding back. Nobody wins holding back. I don't know one person who is winning holding back. Listen, I used to hold back, so I could tell you this with great experience. Okay, I could tell you that. I could tell you it with great experience.
Okay.
And I didn't like me from that point. You know, I really didn't. Like if I look back at me, and then where I started feeling more proud of myself wasn't based on the result, it was based on my courage. And it demands courage to get you to where you want to go. Okay? That's what I would recommend.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you, David. Evelyn, you're up next.
I think you're muted, Evelyn.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you. Good to see you, Evelyn.
Hi, I was on the call with Elizabeth as well.
Oh,
You
good.
just pumped me up, and oh my gosh, Raj. So this is vulnerability time, being transparent. And I am the type that I hesitate to ask because I'm embarrassed. But
Okay.
now I'm throwing myself out there.
Sure.
I don't know if you remember, I have such a huge goal of having that second home in Half Moon Bay.
I remember.
What's holding 2 days ago, I got back the vision. I was so excited. And everywhere I went, I was smiling. Everybody cooperated with me. This was just daily life, right? But it's so huge. And I keep going back and forth. Is my goal so selfish? I have a current mortgage, and here I am. I'm wanting a second mortgage. And now I'm thinking of going to that loan person. What do I need to qualify? So now I'm like, this is what I really want, but am I being selfish? What do I need to do? I keep going back and forth, Raj. I'm doing the quantum leap again.
Okay, so
I'm lost.
Yeah, you're lost because you're not working this properly.
Okay.
Okay, so if you want to I hope you guys can hear this because you can learn from everyone's questions.
Yes.
How many people already have told me their goal is bigger than them? Now, they didn't say it in those words, but that's what they said. So every time we keep saying that, we're diminishing who we are. Okay, that house in Half Moon Bay, you've got to have a natural relationship to it, like you're going to bed tonight. Like, you're going to lay down on your bed. That's how comfortable I want you with that idea. Okay, now, what you want to do is you don't believe it, then you're getting your intellect, and now you're using being selfish as an excuse. Your paradigm is a con man. Okay, it was going to try to trick you. If your want is not strong enough, you're going to default to the paradigm. That's why we have to build it into a desire. Now, what you want to do, I want you to go look at homes in Half Moon Bay. And I want you to take pictures. Then I want you to visualize yourself going into every room. I want you to get the perfect home. Forget about the how right now. See, you went into circumstances. I have my present mortgage paradigm. You don't create like that. We create on the fourth dimensional world, not the third dimension. The third dimension is what we're seeing in our physical results. We're separate from the spiritual essence of who we are. To your subconscious mind, there's no difference between bringing you $1 or $1 million. Why don't you create in your image that you're going to pay for that home in cash? And walk in every room and then have the visualization, the image of it in your mind that you wired all the money in full. Now, is it selfish? It's only selfish if you're not authentic to your want, because the want comes from the spiritual essence of who you are. Our desire is God working through us. We've got to understand this. So none of it is selfish. So what will be selfish is denying your desires. That's what would be selfish, to conforming to the masses. But you've got to go in every room and see yourself eating breakfast in that room. See yourself doing what you enjoy doing in those rooms. And then the outside world is going to reshape the inside. See, the reason people don't believe this is because they don't do it. They don't do it. They don't spend the time working their processes. Ellen, I was working with a client last week, and I told her, I said, you're not doing any of the processes. She goes, you're right. Well, how do you expect to become the best version of yourself? It's not going to happen by accident. Winning is a formula. The formula is your mindset, your attitudes, your processes, and your standards. That's what it is. That's the formula. So I don't want you ever to accept that idea that I'm selfish.
So, Araj, may I just say that I actually did what you had told me, right? Just before the pandemic, I've been going to Half Moon Bay. I've been looking up at MLS listings. I've actually been going to open houses. That's what I love to do. And actually, I've imagined who I've entertaining, people coming over, sleeping over, and what we're eating. But somehow it just gets lost. So just keep doing that.
It doesn't get lost. You haven't committed to that house. You've imagined it passively. Mm-hmm. Imagination is not an intellectual act. It's an emotional act.
Yes.
See, if you really own that and really committed to doing this, you would never wonder if it was selfish. It would never even come on your mind. You would never let circumstances control you. So you haven't made an acceptance of that is done. You're working to the house. You're saying in your mind, when I do this, then I'll get the house. Mm-hmm. The house has to already be done. you could tell me the same thing. Like if you had a goal of 5 million this year, I'd tell you the same thing. You have to speak like you would speak. You have to feel like you would feel, and you have to take the actions like you take the actions. But the first thing we got to do is radically accept it. You haven't radically accepted it yet.
Okay.
Okay,
I got
great.
it. Yes. Thank you very much, Raj.
Sure, my pleasure.
Thank you, Evelyn. Monique, you're up next. Gotta unmute. There we go.
Hi, Arash.
Hi, Monique. How are you?
I met you in San Francisco.
Remember, good to see you again.
Today is my 4th week in the program, in 2 programs, okay? So ever since San Francisco, I went all in with the auto-suggestion, but I have to admit, I was the queen of stop and start procrastination, but in these last 4 weeks, yes, I am really doing it and I am seeing the effects. So my question is about auto-suggestion. So
Sure.
is it possible to over auto-suggest? I mean, I'm auto-suggesting like crazy. I have everything.
Here's the key with auto-suggestion.
Okay.
It doesn't, first of all, I love you made a change since I've seen you. So I want to congratulate you, first of all. So see, that's the energy I want everybody to have towards their life. That's what's going to bring it to you faster. Okay. So I want to congratulate you first.
Thank you so much.
Auto-suggest doesn't work for most people.
Okay.
And here's why. They externally say something, but they deny it internally. Okay. We're auto-suggesting all day long. And so a lot of times we're not doing it out loud. We're doing it when we're quiet with ourselves. We have our own thoughts. So we're auto-suggesting there. So no, you cannot do it long enough. But here's what I want you to do with it. So let's say you're auto-suggesting in the morning.
Uh-huh.
The rest of the day, I want you to live like it's already happened. So what type of actions would you do? How would your language be? Like get into the feeling of excitement, of joy, of gratitude. You know, feel that calmness, that peace to you. Feel that like you're proud of yourself. That's what I want you to feel. But then you've got to take actions. And when you'll know when the auto-suggestion is taking root. I'll tell you how. All of a sudden, your circumstances start changing. All of a sudden, your automatic thinking changes. All of a sudden, like you don't need to remind yourself to do things. You're always doing them. So like for me, this has become a habit. So all day long, I'm auto-suggesting. I'm not sitting there auto-suggesting, but I'm always coming from my goal.
Amen.
You know, and like if you were in some of my text messages on my team, like I am communicating from what we've already accomplished. I'm not communicating of going to it. That's what most people are doing. Okay. So I want you to let go what you're doing with your energy. Okay. Now we need more repetition. The repetition allows us to live on that certain state. And eventually that's going to be your new state. And that's what you're going to attract.
Okay, great.
Okay. So that's wonderful.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Love y'all.
Thank you, Monique. Raj, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions from the chat real quick, okay?
Okay.
The first one is from Josh. I want to leave the construction industry and go full into the financial industry. I do the construction because it's easy and familiar, but I don't have the lifestyle I want. What do you suggest?
I would suggest stop doing it. You know, you're trading your life for what you do, but you're living in a self-imposed prison when you keep doing what you don't want to do. It's very unauthentic, and you're not going to be happy. You're not going to be able to create the type of life you want, not doing what you love. And I know what you're probably thinking when I'm answering this. Well, that's what pays my bills. Well, let's have a bigger idea of yourself. You're not just doing something to pay your bills. I want you to do something that's going to light your soul on fire, that you're going to have so much more energy that's going to create more money than you ever need. So you got to ask yourself, am I committing to what I want now or what I want the most? You know, I want you to commit to what you want the most. And I promise you, if you will install the right processes, Josh, it's going to happen by default.